what do you see as kind of like your key audience in the either currently in the Hex ecosystem or people that you want to attract to the Hex and Pulse Chain ecosystem?
Yeah, well, I think it depends on the product, but I actually think with Fiat, I'm really actually going to try and not so much go after the Hexagon community, although they will be instrumental. But this is really a B2B type product,
Right.
which is to say, there's very smart, intelligent people that use Aave that have tons of money,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they know exactly how to use it. So I'm basically just giving them like a Boeing 747 that they already know how to fly perfectly, right? If you think of these guys as pilots, and I'm just putting that Boeing 747 on Pulse Chain for them,
Right.
right?
So you're basically looking for guys from the Ethereum ecosystem who are using these types of tools, and then just be like, hey, got the same tool over here, you know how to use it, and then just port those guys over to Pulse Chain, basically.
Precisely, yeah. And I mean that's the big end of town, right? Because those guys are like the Justin Suns of the world.
Yep.
Um,
Just $100 million
guys,
down, no problem.
no problem, right? All the biggest guys are old friends, Three Arrows Capital. We're using this, to leverage to the tune of billions, probably,
Yeah.
right? It's an important thing to have in your ecosystem. And obviously all the MEV guys and the ARB guys, they're going to want these tools as well. And we're doing that not just on Pulse Chain, we're doing it on Ethereum as well. So this is going to finally enable these guys to participate more with Hex as well on Ethereum. So
Right.
so that's sort of the audience for Fiat. I think for Famous, I think the audience is going to be a different one, which is going to be the kind of leverage trading community. And they're a different beast as well.
Yeah.
There may be some crossover there, but they serve different purposes.
Yeah, and exactly. And I think it's just interesting for the current Hex community to basically understand that, because I think there's a lot of people who they might not even want to invest in the system that does that because they misunderstand it. And I think they've, heard in terms of leverage, it being the boogeyman, right? Which, I would say for most people, it is a tool that does not, serve their purpose. But I would say, like you said, right, it attracts the right players to this market and makes it a fully functional market, which is what we need Pulse Chain to be. And so kind of like what you're alluding to, right, we need Pulse Chain to go beyond the Hex community and really bring a lot of other people from crypto into the space, or into this particular space.
No, Charlie,
of
it's
crypto.
mine. I'm not sharing it. No, absolutely not.
Hey, it's been a walled garden for one whole bull market, It's
Yeah.
pretty nice.
But I would say,
Absolutely.
I would say just one thing before you say it, Buck, right there, is like, even though it's been a walled garden, it's mostly because of other people walling Hex off versus Hex not trying to expand.
Correct.
Because Hex has been very loud trying to like get people in.
Yeah.
But I understand. I also understand that some people don't want to do. There's adamant people out here that hate to lock up their money on anything. Basically.
Yeah, of course. But if Hex could do that by itself, right, in one bull market, then having a whole ecosystem built around it on top of it's going to be even more. This is going to be very interesting for sure.
So go ahead, Buck. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I agree with you guys completely. I think everybody's got different use cases that they enjoy. I like financial tools, right? So derivatives and leverage are, to me, actually very useful tools to mitigate your risk. But I'm an investment professional with 20 years of experience of managing money, which is to say, I understand what I'm doing. They're not necessarily something I would go encourage everybody to go pour their money into. So you'll never see that kind of marketing from us.
Nice.
We won't be hiring Matt Damon and telling people that fortune favors the bold, or we're not going to be advertising on
Brad Pitt.
Yeah, this guy.
We're not going to be advertising on YouTube with graphics of rocket ships and things like that.
Yeah.
That's not going to be us. But yeah, we are going to provide the tools to the people that know how to use them and want to use them, and we're not going to be people's first leverage trading platform. These guys are big boys, and there are virtuous reasons to use these things.
Yep.
So I guess that's the starting point. But I think the other thing is not everybody's into Gucci tracksuits and locking up your money, as you said. Some people like NFTs. So some people like trading. Some people like video game tokens and things like that.
Buying a whole bunch of stuff.
We got to build all this shit, to be honest. for Pulse Chain to be, a really complete ecosystem. And this is just what we know really well. We know finance and are fascinated by DeFi.
Now,
so we're going to bring as much of the good DeFi stuff to Pulse Chain. And we're going to have better stuff than Ethereum. Because like things like GMX can't even really exist on Ethereum at the moment, which is sad for Ethereum, but great for us.
Yep.
Yeah, it's kind of a crazy thing. I mean, like there was actually somebody who commented. I don't know, he's kind of trolling or whatever, but it's kind of funny. But KRP right here say, why fork Aave? Aave's fine the way it is. LOL. Whose right idea was to fork Aave? I mean, I could even answer this right here, and just because Aave doesn't like. Aave does work nice. It works really well on Ethereum if you're a large player. But there's projects that want to have their coins to be able to borrow on Aave, but Aave just won't add them to its list of coins. So you have quite a lot of like large communities and stuff that want to have that leverage or that ability to borrow on, and they just don't have that ability and stuff. Probably because I think we talked about this in the past with like risk parameters. Would you go a little over that again and talk about like maybe the starter coins that are going to be on this protocol?
Yeah, so we're gonna have things like Hex and Hedron on eFiat, and on Pulse Chain, you're just not going to see Aave come to Pulse Chain, right?
Yeah.
I'll explain it with a metaphor, as I like to do. When you guys go to get a mortgage, if you're like a doctor or a lawyer, somebody with a really secure job, it's really easy for you to just go to any bank, and they'll give you a mortgage, with $1 million, line of credit, like right off the bat, see if you can just show them, here's where I'm employed, here's my contract, right? If you're self-employed, let's say you're a stripper or like a freelancer, you got one of these weird jobs, where it's hard to
so out of left field, dude.
a steady paycheck.
Yeah, of
right?
course. OnlyFans,
it's a lot
woman. Yeah.
if you're sorry, OnlyFans. I forget I'm talking to younger people here.
Get with the times, man.
In my day, you went to a place with a real woman and she danced for you. But yeah,
Japanese sex robots, sir.
I go to the world's change. But anyway, if you're one of these people, you have what's called a non-conforming loan.
Yeah.
So what we are in fact is non-conforming. We're not the things that guys like Aave are going to service, right? So we have to build those tools for ourselves. So we're the only option in town for Hex.
Right.
No one else has figured out how to do this. No one else is bothered. Right. So it's like, yeah, why fork Aave? Aave's working great. Well, Aave is awesome, but they're not all in on the Richard Heart ecosystem. Right. They don't need to be, and they probably don't want to take risk on that either.
Yeah,
they might see it as, they probably never will, or if they ever do, it's going to be the world's going to look a lot different